Welcome to another installment of the Sounds of ERA. My name is Edward Johnson, a.k.a. Eddie, and I'm the president of InfoEd International. We're going to be speaking today with Todd Swavely from the University of Pennsylvania. Todd began his involvement with ERA systems back in 1999, and currently he's the director of ERA systems there. Todd is going to be speaking to us today about his experiences using PureEdge as a proposal submission tool for Grants.gov. Welcome, Todd.
Thanks. It's a pleasure to be here.
Grants.gov came online. Initially, I think it was just a search engine, if you will, where the federal grants needed to be exposed in there by all the agencies. And that was, I guess, certainly a milestone in Grants.gov's timeline. They came out with a PureEdge tool that really, I think, turned people on their ears in the sense of what it took to fill those out and manage those. And eventually it became mandatory, of course. The initial phases of that were not fun. What was your experience with that from your university side?
The experience here was definitely not a fun experience. We were in the early phases. We were implementing ERA systems in-house. Proposal development or an S2S solution just wasn't going to be immediate when these first PureEdge opportunities, if you will, Grants.gov opportunities that you needed to use PureEdge Viewer to prepare and to submit. It created a completely different atmosphere on campus, and again, there was a lot of pressure. We had to stop a lot of our efforts toward moving toward system to system because we weren't ready for that, and now we needed to accommodate the use of this PureEdge tool for Grants.gov submissions. We had to put a fair amount of infrastructure in place internally to handle proposals in that format. It wasn't a very user-friendly format, and that's an understatement. There was a massive outcry from the university research community about the use of PureEdge. It was very quirky. Installing PureEdge was a task by itself because anybody who worked on this needed to have this particular viewer, and it wasn't very platform independent. It's really an IBM product. It was fine in the Windows environment. Other than that, if you weren't working on a Windows platform, well, you were pretty much out of luck. We had to provide a Citrix server type of environment where our Mac community was able to use PureEdge to prepare PureEdge missions, and we, of course, had to move those files, those PureEdge files, around the university for review and approval, and we had to have servers available that investigators and their support staff could readily upload those files for the university's records and for the university to review them and submit them. There were quite a few aspects that had to be addressed in that area. When you had to resubmit, which was very common in those days, a lot of validation problems and a lot of handshake problems, and there were volume problems with that too, although I would say that they did a better job than the infancy of Fastlane in that sense. There were a lot of problems with getting on the servers and getting things delivered in a timely fashion or on a short turnaround. We had to have quite an infrastructure built just to handle moving those things around and taking care of that so that we weren't left out in the cold not being able to deliver our applications via that method. The education component of that can't be underemphasized either. Getting investigators and their support people trained in using PureEdge and the quirks of it and understanding, when they were having a problem with the PureEdge application and when they were having a problem with server access and whenever the various problems were. We weren't scaled up to support that effort because I don't think we quite understood that there would be so much support needed. We ramped it up and we got there. It was very, very resource intensive and very difficult to manage locally.
Fantastic information, Todd. I really appreciate you taking the time to go through this. Other things come up. I hope you're willing to explain those or engage us in those topics as they evolve over time.
No problem at all, Eddie.